Take my hand.
Oh my god.
Yo!
Lord have mercy.
Slow down, baby.
I think somebody might have been a little horny making this one. Now you know a game is gonna be fire when it ain't even released yet and is already breaking the internet. Healthy yams on full display got the incel, outraged artists, and online activists coming out of their basements going to war. Meanwhile, the rest of us actual gamers get to enjoy a fun new IP with an interesting new female lead while whooping some ass to a banger soundtrack. But isn't it funny how controversy always seems to find its way into these highly anticipated games? I mean, this threatened to get this game canceled for racism. Really, y'all? The game wasn't even out yet. It's literally just a picture of some graffiti with no context next to an R, and at this point literally nobody but the developers knew what this game was really about. Think about it. In this internet age, a brand new IP from an up-and-coming company based in the East intentionally puts a racist slur that only Americans will understand into their game, knowing it would alienate black gamers and immediately get the game canceled? Man, Mr. Fantastic couldn't even stretch farther than that. This is supposed to be some subtle racist attack? Is literally just a shot run by a thirsty cyborg lady named Roxanne, where you find the request board, capital R, for side missions. That's it. Why can't we just have fun? Anyway, we got a brand new game, and I got a review to do. So is this game worth all the hype, or is it a flaming dumpster fire? Let's see. This game got a bit of everything. A unique and memorable OST that's easy to listen to. You're goddamn right. Impressive next-gen particle effects.
Hell yeah!
And the jiggle physics. Oh, have mercy! And the character models and graphics are pretty nice to look at too. Usually. Most areas you come across look great, and others, like Zion, just don't. Zion kind of looks like an up-resolution version of the Sector 5 slums from Final Fantasy VII Remake. But it makes complete sense why. It ain't supposed to look pretty. This is a post-apocalyptic world after all, and this dusty-ass city is located right in the middle of the desert. Most of the world is similar too. You'll find yourself in ruins, in the desert, destroyed cities, flooded areas, in the desert, and in areas devoid of life because of this game's monsters, the Nativa. These ugly-ass creatures are nightmare fuel incarnate. A majority of them are uniquely designed and cool looking, and with most of their designs you can't quite put your finger on what it's supposed to be. There's this gorilla hybrid one, a harpy looking one that looks like a cricket human with scythes, and this one is horse? See? Nightmare fuel. There's a strange charm to the artwork in this game too. The character art style is pretty unique, but it's hit or miss for me. This goes for the Nativa designs, the androids, and even humans. Initially, it's kind of hard to tell who's human and who isn't. NPC art style aside, this game is pretty generous with customization options for Eve as well. You get to customize her appearance by changing her earrings, her hairstyle, eyewear, and even her outfits too. Some of the outfits that are available are downright raunchy, while there are more conservative options for those of you who prefer to have Eve covered up. Hey, whatever makes you happy, I ain't judging. You can even unlock more customization options by completing side missions, collecting soda cans, exploring the world, and more. This game looks good, certainly, but graphics aren't truly the focus here. Combat is. And man, is there plenty to talk about there. Stick around. When you have a Souls-like, combo-focused, highly addicting combat system paired with a well-seasoned OST and a healthy dose of you might just find yourself with a game that sells millions of copies. This game has all that. It's far more than just some eye candy for those among us who might be in need of some water. Stellar Blade joins a long line of games taking heavy inspiration from classics such as Dark Souls and Bayonetta. You can get wrecked in a matter of seconds if you fail to recognize enemy attack patterns, and Natiba just love to jump you. Just when you think you've beaten the brakes off a trash mob, here come their uncle, their second and third cousins, their baby daddy, and their high school crush, ready to ruin your day. And that leads me to my biggest gripe with this game. The targeting system is absolute when it comes to fighting multiple enemies at once. Trying to switch targets mid-combat almost never works, and you'll end up focusing on nobody and end up getting cooked instead of focusing on who you're actually trying to hit. Eve will literally only attack one enemy at a time, while the others blow your back out unless you hit them with an area of effect special move, or you get lucky and she does a side swipe. Even if you destroyed the same enemy over and over and mastered their attack patterns, let 3 or 4 of them will gang up on you and see what happens. Eve's attacking animations also feel a little slow at times, and you get hit way more than you should against the quicker enemies. The game allows you to alter Eve's attack speed a little with quality exosuits and gear, but it's subjective on whether you think it really helps or not. But that's way late game when they actually start being useful. But whatever, man. The combat in this game still feels awesome. I genuinely got a little excited every time I visited new areas just so I can see what the game will throw at me next. Combat system aside, I'm a big sucker for fishing in video games, and y'all! Fishing plus haptic feedback and graphics, and you actually have to tire the fish out to get it to the shore within the time limit. I was cheesing hard when I came across this gem in the middle of the desert. There's actually a good variety of aquatic creatures to catch too, with increasing difficulty. Well done, Shilka. But hey, don't go getting the big head just yet. Y'all could have made the fish look better than this now, but still, well done. This was the last thing I was expecting to find in this action-adventure alien slasher. Would have been nice to have a map function that you can track what fish you caught and where, or even an ability to mark areas of interest on your map. But I digress. The gameplay is fun and addictive overall, and it's a great experience. Just look at these reviews.
Finally.
Like most games these days, Stellar Blade experiences dips in quality here and there. Clearly, areas such as the boss fights, physics, and cinematics got their fair share of time, attention, and budget to perfect them. But others, like non-cutscene dialogue lip sync, loading times, and platforming, they're not so good. Every NPC you speak to outside of rendered cutscenes have an audio delay of at least 1 to 2 seconds.
Can't just barge in like this. The store is closed. Oh, Angel, what are you doing here?
Once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's not as noticeable with masked NPCs, but with NPCs without one, you see it immediately. Loading times aren't nearly as quick as what you come to expect with the power of the PlayStation 5, but at least it's not Anthem. The issue is only really seen when you're trying to fast travel or load the game from the title screen. Speaking of traveling fast, a button pressed to go on the hyperspeed would have been nice too, instead of having to wait a few seconds for Eve to start running fast. That just grinds my gears a little after playing for a while. The only time I was like, man, this kind of sucks, was anytime I had to climb up something, wall run, or jump and catch one of those hanging ropes. Eve just doesn't respond like she should. You end up having to repeat yourself multiple times before she does what you want. Or maybe it's just me and I'm trash, but whatever, I ain't like it. I found myself falling to my death for using my precious supplies out of battle way more than I wanted. Other than that, sometimes you might run into some textures that look like ass, or some rare moments where frames drop during combat. But again, I digress. Overall, Stellar Blade is pretty solid despite its flaws. Imagine, for a moment, being born yesterday and immediately learn to fight for your life. The world starts coming down all around you, then BAM! First person you form a bond with is killed right in front of your eyes. A strange man saves your life, and the next day you blindly agree to a weird mission to repay him. You ask yourself, what on earth have I gotten myself into? You see this? What the f is that? Back up. And this. Ah! What on earth? Oh, hell no. Then this happens. This again. I'll never learn. Easy. Easy work. Ah! What the fuck? Get off me! What on earth? You learn that monsters you have been created to destroy are more than what they seem. Some of them even appear to be human. And just when you think things can't get any worse. What the hell is that? Man, oh hell no. This is Resident Evil? Nope, I'm out. And the worst part about it all? The mixologist ain't mixing and this lady won't shut up. I'm only 2 days old. Why am I old enough to drink? So post-apocalyptic stories have always been very intriguing to me. I'd say Horizon Zero Dawn has one of the best post-apocalyptic stories in gaming in the past 10 years. On the surface, Stellar Blade and Horizon Zero Dawn share many similarities. Female protagonist, post-apocalyptic world where humans were ravaged by an outside force.
Unquenchable thirst.
Oh god, what was that? And a heavy focus on unique combat to name a few. What makes Horizon story so endearing for me is that the game makes the player dig up the past through bits and pieces of information you find by exploring and completing side missions. While nowhere near as cool as clobbering robot dinosaurs with primitive weapons, Stellar Blade takes a similar direction with its plot and lore. Somehow, the human race was decimated by these abominations, and the game doesn't initially tell you what they are or how they came to dominate the world. Through gathering collectible items, talking to NPCs, and finding dead scavengers out in the world, you'll slowly start to piece together why the world is so screwed. So much context and interesting information is locked away in completely missable optional content. Eventually, you and Eve will piece together the mystery of the Naytiba, the truth about Eve's creator, Mother Spear, and the truth about the city of Zion and its prophet. Sticking to strictly story content, you can expect to drop about 20 to 30 hours into the game and about 50 hours for 100% completion. Unless you're trash at fighting games, I can't help you. All that aside though, spoiler alert, you've been warned. What is this? I don't know if any of you guys watching this have played this, but I'm not too surprised that Adam is the final boss. It was going towards that for a while, but it's still weird. I feel like this is just done for shock value, but at least the boss fight's pretty cool. Is it just me, or is Adam's boss fight way easier than Raven's boss fight? Okay, I don't know if it's just me, maybe I'm trash, but Raven beat my ass like 20 times in a row. I went through like 15 revives against her, lost all my stuff, and I had to fight her without any revives. I had to actually learn the mechanics. She was punishing. But then I get to Elder Naytiba, Adam, the person partly responsible for this mess in the first place. He is way easier than Raven. I used like, 4 revives against him versus 20 with Raven? Anyway, I know this is a fighting game and everything, but the ending kind of leaves me wanting a little more. Like I feel like I was left hanging. You learn the obvious truth about the Naytibas and then the story's just done. I'm ultimately left feeling like I wasn't satisfied with it. The Earth is now ground zero. Scavenging for scraps and running for your lives from Naytiba are all you know. Outside isn't safe, but what about inside? Can you trust your neighbor? Your leaders? Are they really looking out for you? Or are they trying to rob you? Or worse, you await salvation from Mother Spear, not knowing it's not God, but a man-made artificial intelligence with his own will and its own plans. But still you hope, waiting for the day she will send down her angels and save humanity from this nightmare. Only to look to the skies and you see this. But out there is a faint glimmer of hope. The player character, a being with nigh unlimited power and plot armor so strong Son Goku will come calling. They have arrived to save the day. Dive into a world of thirst traps and hard judgment from Twitter warriors with nothing better to do. And get ready to experience bad, monotone voice acting and random jump scares. Introducing Stellar Yam!
Get back to the review.
Hey, shut up. Not only does going out of your way to gather all collectibles in this game reward you with several trophies, you will also unravel conspiracies, learn about Zion and the Prophet's shady past, and you can even earn yourself the raunchiest outfit in this game. This game goes out of its way to build upon the lore of the world through completely optional content, and it's pretty well done. Most side missions feel like fetch quests, but some are built different. One such quest expands upon the distrust and hatred of angels by part of the population. Then Eve, who's able to overrule you and refuse to take side missions, suddenly becomes the most gullible hero in existence. She almost dies at the hands of scavengers after going down an obviously a trap kind of alley, and I want to change her hair color to blonde. You also realize that Naytiba aren't the only monsters around in this world pretty early on. Another side mission has you investigate a supposed safe haven for remaining civilians in Zion. After the most irritating puzzle in the game, you stumble across a scene from a horror game. Bodies piled up everywhere you go, betrayed by a serial killer exploiting the despair and desperation of others. You don't even get to take them out yourself. Side missions like this almost make it possible to overlook how much most of them actually suck. Almost. Voice acting devoid of personality is a problem in this game. You really notice it with NPCs, but even the main characters suffer from this. Looking at you, Adam. You too, Tacky. What is this?
My Eve. Thanks for freeing me.
What is this acting right now? This is terrible.
A favor to ask of you.
Eve, I am dying. Help me. While character interactions are mostly good, it's pretty obvious where some corners were cut. Even with all that said, this game is pretty great at world building and it was a real joy to experience. Don't listen to IGN. France, go pick this up. This is Detective B signing out. Case closed.